Detoxification is 100% different than cleansing. Cleansing is needed. Cleansing is mobilizing toxins out of the different tissues that they're in. But once the toxins are mobilized, once you've started to sweep all the stuff to the center of the room, somebody in the body's got to identify, oh, these are toxins. They have to transform them into something that can be eliminated. Remember, we spoke about 5 organs of elimination: liver, the lungs, the skin, the urinary tract, and the bowel. They have to sift that out and then push it on its way out. And unfortunately, colonics and juice fasting and these techniques, and the a really famous one is called the master cleanse, where you put some spicy cayenne with some lemon and some sweetener, and you just sip on that, like gallons and gallons of it for several days. Essentially, that is only mobilizing toxins. It's not a bad thing. It can work, but it doesn't identify, transform, and eliminate. So it's equivalent to
I just want to pause for a minute here, because it's so brilliant and you're speaking to it with such precision. And I just want to slow it down for a moment, because I know many of us have used the master cleanse over the years. Many of us have done other approaches. This doesn't make it wrong. You didn't hurt yourself. It's not bad. But we're living in this time where science and the ability to measure things and understand things is exponentially growing. You and I grew up with landlines. Remember, you had the long cord, and if you wanted to talk to your friend, you stretched the cord into we had a broom closet that I used to go in and curl up and talk to my friends. And eventually that cord just got so stretched out. And now we are living in this amplified time where technology is evolving so quickly. And this is true in medicine and healing. We can see and understand and innovate so much more. So am I right, Dr. Rackman, in noticing that what you are offering for an explanation here is right at the edge of this emergent understanding that we haven't misunderstood in the past? We just now have a cell phone instead of a landline.
This is technology evolved in the last 4 decades. And the principle of mobilization of toxins has been around forever. That's the ancient wisdom, and there's ways of doing it very effectively.
The ghee in Ayurveda. And again, in our first segment, yeah. I spoke about Ayurvedic cleansing and how I've transitioned into detoxification while honoring the Ayurvedic principles. So many of you who are deeply involved with Ayurveda will understand ghee as a carrier agent, which is why we might take in a lot of ghee in a traditional Ayurvedic cleanse, so we can get that Roomba going, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And an advantage to moving a little bit deeper is that we don't retox. If you just mobilize and concentrate, it will leak back into the tissues, potentially at a higher concentration. So what we really want to do is be effective at mobilization, but we want to ultimately get it into the bag and out of the house.
Yep.
And that's the effective part that turns a cleanse into a more comprehensive detoxification. And our liver has a couple phases associated of activity. These are not physical phases. These are biochemical. There's pathways in chemistry and a chemistry set in your liver doing all these things. But 2 basic things it does is it cleanses, which is called phase 1, and then it packages, which is called phase 2. And it's critical that every one of these phases is working appropriately, or else we can't eliminate through the kidneys and urine and gallbladder, bile, and stool.
Well, this is why back in the day with Ayurvedic cleansing that was not included in the detox, I felt better but not complete.
I think that's exactly right. And what's interesting is if you do a really good detox, 10 days is usually sufficient to make incredible headway if it's done well. And for me, it's about paying attention to all of these elements. We use something called a modified protein sparing diet. Proteins are used to transform and eliminate and identify. So if we deny the liver the very proteins that they need in order to detoxify, we will cleanse, but we will not detoxify. So we try to not lose protein in the body anywhere. We reduce some calories because that helps to dig into the fat. And we reduce complexity, making foods really simple. The elements that I'm helping to guide in this program involve some supplementation that makes like a detoxy smoothie kind of thing that is, you'll see in a moment, essential, and careful reintroduction of foods. So basically it burns fat and it spares organs. Most people during a cleanse have some degree of organ loss, believe it or not. This is protein sparing, and therefore it's muscle and organ sparing. And it promotes healthy identification and transformation and elimination on the
Brad,
body.
let me ask you this, because this is very popular in culture right now, this idea of a fatty liver. Is this have some bearing on what you're currently pointing
It
towards?
does, because when the body doesn't know what to do with something, it'll bind it to fat and stick it in, of all places, the liver.